Welcome back to my channel. Today I have great news. My injectors has arrived, and if you'll look, it's genuine parts. I wanted a factory injectors instead of an aftermarket injector, for the simple reason is the orifice size could be different in some of them aftermarket. They could be larger or smaller, but the thing is, I wanted the original equipment to put in, because I don't want to have to do this again. Remember that bracket I was saying that looked like there's a bolt missing? Well, there's not a bolt missing. It slips on and holds that piece, keeps this from turning, and it just sits in there like so. And you put your bolt in. Anyway, that's enough about that. I just wanted to point that out to y'all. So let's go ahead, remove this injector. I'll just set it right there. Remove this injector. I know what I need to do. I need to blow air through this to make sure that no dust or anything got in there, because I don't want nothing. I want this these to stay just as clean as possible. I'll be right back. Hey, I have blowed it out, make sure there's no dust or anything in this bracket that holds the injectors. Alright, what I want to do is put a little oil on the O-rings, slide the O-rings, the injectors in, and make sure everything's lined up. Alright, let's see, a little bit of oil. That'll be a plenty. Don't take much. Just want to lube them O-rings. Make sure that's in. Lubricate this one. Work that in. Okay, now, wouldn't you know it, the wind wants to blow? Alright, now, make sure this injector is lined up. Alright, that's lined up. Let me go get the other one, pop it on here, line it up. And of course, now after I get everything lined up, something is more than likely going to move on me, and I'll have to realign it. Okay. Lay that back down in there. Now, turn them over. Take these little insulators and get them out. Yeah, I done moved that one. Make sure they're seated good. Alright, now all I have to do is lubricate the outside of these insulators, pull the old ones out of the bike over there, and start putting this thing back together. Alright, let's get started. Hey, I have got the injectors and all back in. That back bolt right in there, let's see, yeah, that one right there was a sure enough challenge to get that thing back in. Another thing I failed to have mentioned is when I was pulling all this apart the other day, I marked which wire went where. In other words, the F stands for the front and the R for the rear. I just wanted to mention that to y'all. That way you keep everything in order, especially when you're putting everything back together. Now I don't know, I'm pretty sure it makes a difference, but I just want to put everything back together the way it was. Now all I do is slide the tank back on, bolt it down, hook the fuel line up to it, and see how everything's going to work. Be right back. Hey, I got the wires hooked up. I got one bolt holding the tank down. I got my trusty little piece of 2x4 finally. And what I'm fixing to do, I want to check the fuel pressure to see if it has changed any. Okay. Alright, we still looking like 66 pounds, 65, 66. But it's bleeding off a lot more than what it has been. Huh, okay. Well, it's stabilizing now. 55. Okay. Well, we'll go with it that way. Let the pressure bleed down some. Now I'll hook my fuel line up to the pump. Put some more bolts in the back side of the tank. See how this thing's gonna crank. Be right back. Okay, I got the bolts back in. I'm fixing to crank her, see how she's gonna sound with the new injectors and all. Hopefully a totally different sound. I can still hear that fuel pump a little bit, but I don't think it's quite as bad as it has been. What I'm gonna end up having to do is put some miles on. I need to go get some gas for it, and I'm down to something like just 1 bar. Move that out of the way. Okay, now run it, let's see how it's going to crank. There's one thing already I noticed. It cranks up a lot faster than what it has been. That's a good sign, good sign. Okay, well let me get finished putting everything back together. I got it all back together. I was looking at the clock, and this whole thing took me about 40 minutes to do. In other words, you know, put the new injectors in the bracket, put everything back together, put the tank back on, check the fuel pressure. It looks like, let's see, in the last video it was 67. Now it's sitting at 66, 65, 66. Well, I'm still good to go as long as it's between 60, or 40 to 60 on fuel pressure. Now, I'm just curious. Got this thing back together. Okay, didn't crank. There's one thing I have noticed about it too. It's got a little bit of a shake to it. In other words, both cylinders is firing good now, I feel like. Let me take it down the road. I see. Check to make sure I'm not dragging nothing with me. Make sure nothing's coming. Everything's looking good, y'all. Now, can't wait to put some gas in it and take her down the road. and see how all this is going to work out. I said, being I'll run it, let's see how quick it fires up. Almost. But it is cranking a lot faster than what it was. Alright, well I reckon that'll do it for this video. Man, I'm so glad I got this thing back together and all. I don't smell no gas. I really have not checked for leaks. I need to probably pull this off later on and just do a visual check on the inside there, but it should not be leaking. I don't smell gas, so that's good, and I don't see anything wet. But boy, I'm glad to get this thing back together. It costed me, you know, the work that I did plus the parts was 250 bucks. Might as well say it was 244, 43, somewhere along in there. Just say 250. All right, well, thank you for watching. I'm glad I got this thing back together. I'm glad.